Hello, and welcome to the Saturday Night Prep. I am Justin Johnson. I am DM for Dungeon Delvers Group, and I will be working on map making and also answering any questions as far as the campaign and such goes. I use a program called Dungeon Alchemy. It is a amazing program that does 90% of the work for you, and then you just fill in all the rest of the information that you need if you need specific things. So I am running a one-shot here this weekend, or next weekend I should say. So I am needing to build a bank. So I am going to be building a bank. Let me make sure I'm all squared away here. I apologize if I'm not all squared away. I am very new to streaming and I am figuring everything out. So, first thing a bank needs is a way for the armored carts to come in. So, we can do a 6x6 area here. And it all but fills in everything I need as far as that goes. Now, from what I'm seeing here, some things don't make sense. You could see the cart. No matter how you try and fit it through that doorway, I highly doubt it's gonna fit through that door. So, let's change out the door. Delete that one. Let's find something a little bit more decently wide. Or let's take out the cart and perhaps put in a armored cart. That's even bigger. You know what? Let's go ahead and redo this. Make it a little bit larger this time. Again, that door will not work for what we need it for. But if it's a highly fortified one, it makes me think it won't have a moat. Or a larger gate, like so. So then we can click on that, can open and close the gate, and bag of sand's in the way, or whatever it is. Move that off to the side. And swap out the cart. Definitely enjoying that armored cart better. And then I'm not a fan of that doorway. I almost need something bigger. Like I said, I apologize if I'm a little kerfunkled. This is one of my very first streams, so please bear with me. But feel free to ask me any questions you have as far as what's going on in this campaign, what is what's the scenario like, what is to be expected. What? Let's just make it look right and shrink the cart a bit. And that cart can definitely fit through that door. Alright. Now, all good things. Oh. Ready. Now that we got a stagecoach house squared away for this bank, now we need a place to receive people in a lobby area. So keeping with the same look, we're gonna do an entrance here. Whatever here. So not quite what we're wanting, so we're gonna re-roll that one. That might be workable. Okay. So now let's go to... Let's see what all they have as far as banking goes. Perfect. They have teller counters and everything like that. So first off, get rid of this stuff. Have things make a little bit more sense here. You're just not going to have an open doorway. You're going to have some sort of iron gate or something like that to get through. It's going to be towards the back. Perhaps move this cart off to the side more. And then for the front door that the people would actually come through, you're going to have a nicer looking door. It's not going to be like a metal door. You don't want them to feel like that they're going through a prison or something like that. So let's look at the single doors here. Perhaps a sculpted door. Not quite the way. Don't need any kind of secret doors. Let's look at reinforced. So let's go ahead and place a reinforced door there. We're gonna get rid of all the other stuff here. And we are going to put up some bank tellers. Area. So perhaps put one there. If I make a curve, there's no way of reversing it without it being on the opposite side like that. Perhaps that makes sense. Let's push everything forward here. Give the people back behind them a little bit. Maybe that makes sense to pass things through, like larger bags or something like that. It's always about thinking. If it makes sense, it makes sense. Perhaps put the teller here. Another blank spot here, another blank spot here. Your teller here. Then curve. Great. Teller. Okay. Right, so that makes sense. Now, what does every bank need? It needs some chairs. Furniture. Maybe some nice benches so that they kind of snap to the grid. I got turned around for some reason. There we go. Right. Another bench on this side. All right. Then we need a treasury room. Actually, no, because we're gonna put the treasury room on the second story. So. Perhaps armory there. Okay, that's an armory there. Didn't quite hit it, so let's reverse that. So then let's door that's there. Replace it with an iron gate on the carriage house side. Then we need a stairwell up. And then this outside area looks a little plain, so we'll also have to add some pizzazz outside. Trying to give them multiple avenues of getting into the bank, be it talking their way in, sneaking their way in, and everything. I kind of have a rule of 3. You always try to give your players 3 different possible ways of solving the area. So it kind of plays on everyone's abilities and some of their strengths and everything like that. That looks really good as far as something we can, and they can go down. Do we want the arm? Do we want the treasure up or down? Probably want the treasure up. So go ahead. First off, we need to change this door. They can't have some big unsecured door leading to a vault. So, what makes sense? That makes sense, but I don't like how it's not level. The bigger the door, the more. That's too godly. Perhaps heavy duty blast door to create a little bit of a barrier, because what does one thing D&D characters love to fight? Doorways. So let's pump up that door and make it look like it's a challenge. Got some armory back there. And then we need steps going up. Structure. So go ahead and move this. So what makes sense? what makes sense in an area like this? If people are depositing big, heavy things, you're not going to want an obnoxious thing. But if you're going up small, you don't want to have to take something. I know, I say big obnoxious things and then I pick a freaking spiral staircase. But what would make sense in an area like this? That sticks too far out. Maybe a simple staircase like that. And then, so the one downside of Dungeon Alchemy is they don't let you build in layers. So to do the second staircase floor, I will have to finish the first floor fully, save it, import it to my actual map program that I put on the screen for all my players, and then come back and do a second story for everything else. And then in the actual map program, I can then layer it. So, makes sense to have this area here. That way they are able to pass larger objects through the screen. Either one of these people. A heavy door. Armored cart. So all this so far is making sense. We may, on the outside, need to have a little rest area for the horses. Makes sense. So, stables. Just off to the side here. Doesn't look great. Try that. Okay, that's looking more right. It is totally way off. Try and do it like that. We don't quite want It's close. It's getting there. That is more like it. That's more what I was thinking as far as that goes. Now, if I can get the doors to just go over to this side, this to come over here and rotate, that makes more sense. You unhitch the horses after they pull in the cart, and then you wheel them right around here. Now, as I said before, rule of three. You want your players to have 3 different ways going about things. That way it's not, oh, it's always the rogue doing this. It's always the barbarian pulling open the door, or it's always the rogue lockpicking. You want the bard perhaps be able to talk their way in, or the sorcerer to charm their way in. You want to be able to find multiple ways of people going through. So I need to provide ideas. First and foremost, let's paint some terrain. So we need a pathway leading up to the door. We need a wider pathway leading up that way. And then we have what engineering calls a preferred path, which is a path that people make, but it's usually less evident. It's from them kind of walking the path that they want, but is not available. That's kind of gonna be like that. Then, a nice little trick is if you lower this way down, make it small, remove some of the brush strength. That ain't doing it. Make it way small, perhaps. Better. Pull the brush strength down further. You can almost make track marks where carts are being pulled up on. Just a nice little add-on to show wear and tear, and something that sometimes gets overlooked as far as that goes. So we have a nice little area. People come into the bank this way. They pretty much are just in the teller area. Things matching up. The actual bank area has more along the lines of the arrow slits, while the other areas have these reinforced wire windows. So all that is looking good. Only thing is that cart is looking pretty empty. Let's go ahead and look at some of the furniture we can toss in there. Perhaps some crates or here's some crates. Okay. Toss a crate in there. Some stacked crates in this corner here. Just kind of give it that whole used look. Perhaps they have a spare. Oh, there's already a spare cart wheels. Nice. And that's why I really like this program, is that Dungeon Alchemist thinks of that kind of stuff. It thinks of the simple things like, hey, they're going to have spare parts for these carts, so let's toss some wheels in there and such like that. It already kind of takes that into account. Anything else need to be in this cart house here? What we should probably do is add a doorway here. That way people can go through there to the armory. If that's the case, then we should turn that door into a fortified door. Okay. So, now, let's see about camping. Because I am sure that there are going to be people waiting to meet other people at the bank. And I'm sure that there's going to be people who have tents set up and such like that off to the side. We're also going to need, of course, some nature stuff. We're gonna need some trees to spread around. That way it looks a little less bare. But any bank worth its salt is not going to put trees tight enough to it that people can climb trees and jump into their second story. So they're going to be pulled back a little bit, and perhaps some stumps instead, closer, as if they cut some of them down. That is a big stump. So let's see here. Put another stump over here to kind of give it some character. Small tree. And then tree. Just trying to not make it look so bare. And then hazel tree. Alrighty. Now, while we're working on the outside, we're also gonna need some lighting for the outside. Because if you are running a bank, you're gonna want to know who is coming and going. You're gonna want to be able to see even whenever it's dark. So there we go. perhaps we place one here, snap it to the grid. There we go. Alrighty. So what we'll do is we'll move this door over a little bit, because we're gonna have to line some bookcases up back behind here. Because I realized there is no scales or anything like that. So we're going to need to add some cabinetry. What works best with this? With this look of the I think it's going to be simple shelf and add 3 there. And then we put scales there. Alright, let's remove the scale there because that's where you push things through. Let's put the scale there instead. Put some scale weights in the back there. Then what else needs to be back there for a banker? Gonna need some bags. No, we're gonna need perhaps that's a very large pouch. Perhaps we put some there. Bring that down. What else? What else do we need? That wouldn't make sense. What we do need is an office. The bank. The main banker. Somewhere where he can have consultations, or she could have consultations. As far as there in the campsite. Collision needs to be turned off. That way I can put that underneath of there. I will unlight it. It can clean. Perhaps move it into this area a little bit more. Someone wouldn't store their bedroll right next to the fire, of course. So I have to move it over. Alrighty, now we need an office. We need to draw a room. Let's go. Let's see what gets us closest to an office. That ain't it. That's damn sure. Let's try that. Now it's really not a throne room, but it got us there. It got us 90% of the way there. So, first off, door. Door is not, will not suffice. Now this door, I believe, is one that requires people. So we'll do it like that. Leave this throne room stuff because we don't quite need it as a throne room. We need it as an office. And then the main banker needs access to that way. So, lots and lots of doors. You move that door more this way. Move the candle that way. Ooh. Enough. Alright. So that puts office there. Now we need typical office things, of course. We got banker's desk. Just go see what a furnished desk gives us. Then we're going to need some chairs for people speaking with. Said banker. I always like to put things at an angle. That way it feels more centralized, like it's centralizing on this point here. Like it's centralizing right on the front of the desk. And I find that it gives it more of a real feel, if you would. Now, let's see about what else would be in here. we would need some sort of table in between the two. Perhaps the banker is a tea connoisseur, so that there is a there. Hold on, taking care of something. Okay. Alrighty. Now, this all looks pretty good. Okay, that's a microscope. Banker ain't gonna need a microscope for obvious reasons. Although he might look at jewels and such, but that can probably be done with an eyepiece. So he is also going to want some bookcases, but maybe his is a little bit more fancier because this is his actual office. Let's put a bookcase there. Case there. That. And perhaps he has a decent wine collection to toast to success. Okay. So he has some enticing things over there, some focal points. He's also going to want something to hang on the wall, a show of wealth, a pretty good actually. Holy crap. And then, of course, someone wealthy and such like that wouldn't let the floor go to waste. Let's look at some options here. A little larger, not by much. Nah, banker wouldn't have trophies on the wall. Yeah, perhaps would have more paintings. Let's put a painting there and a painting there. Okay. All right. Anything else we can think of that a bank would need on their first Oh, I need to redo some benches because they got taken out. Perhaps maybe a table up front that you can prep some stuff at. That looks more along the lines of the aesthetic. Maybe a smaller drug, like that way it's almost like an entry into the bosses. Alrighty. Anything else makes sense to be there? I'll put a little cage there just as a nice little surprise. All right. I think layer 1 is pretty well complete. Gonna name it Bank. Oop. Yeah. That's what the players will actually see whenever they are looking down at the map. Actually, it'll be more like that because of the depth perception. Yep. Then, one thing I really like about this program is it lets you literally walk through what you created to make sure that everything makes sense. So this little off area for the horses, maybe it doesn't make sense that this thing is just there. Maybe it needs pushed back. So that is actually pretty cool there. So I'll have to fix that. Okay, the cart's lined up pretty well straight with the door. Might need to move over tiniest bit, as if it was just backed in. Nothing's in the walkways or paths of anyone. Armory's here, filled with swords. Random helmet will have to be moved. So that door, here's why I really like it. That door doesn't make sense to go in. that door should come this way. Because if you open up this door, whoever's working this counter here is all but gonna be trapped. So we'll have to fix that. The more I look at this little area here, the more I like it, being able to pass over larger things than things that fit through here. The skills. Then go into the bosses area here. Okay. See, this door here needs flipped. Because right there's the security brace. Then that needs to be on the inside of the boss's room. If you're sitting in the boss's room, this is what you're seeing. Perhaps this big thing here needs moved. That way it's not in the way. Very nice painting. Alright, so we got some things to fix. Okay. So this door, need to rotate it so it opens outward, exactly like that. This door, need to rotate it. That door can also be rotated so it goes inward like that. Need to take out this random helmet. But what I will add is some armor stands. Let's go ahead and take away some swords here, give the armor some base. So that they have some sets of armor and some swords. That makes more sense than just all the swords in the world, apparently. Let us then see about this thing needed moved. Perhaps it's off to the side instead of on the desk. Go with decoration. Yeah. You know what? I'm like some like an inkwell or something like that. We have an inkwell that way. Do paperwork, ink jar, perfect. Off to the right side, as most people are right-handed. And then I saw something here that I would like to add. Would be a chalice, perhaps. Yeah, that will do. So let's move off to the side in case someone needs a spittoon. Alrighty. That door was flipped. Alrighty, let's go ahead and make sure that we're saving this. I'm gonna take a short break, and whenever I come back, I will work on the second story. I will be right back. And I'm back. Alright. Let's get this second story done. We're gonna want a new map. Same dimensions. Very important, that way you can line them up in the mapping program. Okay. Now, need to do a second story. There's gonna be a hallway. Those can be this area as soon as you come up the steps. So what I need to do is add some steps. Stairs down. They were a straight on stairway. That big. So something like that. Those would be the stairs going up. Because this is the second story, I have to delete doors. So that would be about the same spot as the stairs going up. Now, because this is the second story, there will be no outside doorways. Now, what we need to do is to create the actual vault. So what we'll do, we'll come off of that one. And alright. Bad thing about Dungeon Alchemist is that it's not quite sure what we're trying to do. So it gave us about 15% of what we need. Let's go ahead and delete some of this stuff. Alright. So, first off, want the arrow slit ones. Because this is a second story. They're going to have their defenses up on seconds. There we go. So now we're gonna need crates, chests. This is going to be the mother lode of the area. So before we do that though, now we need the ungodly big vault door. And like many back rooms of places, of businesses and things that usually the public doesn't see, it's going to be a bit chaotic. So we are going to first start off with some crates. I have some crates to be spread about. So collision off, you're able to place it and then also lift it to create that look of stacked. All right, now that we got some and we're going to want a bunch of different style of chests. That way, it's pretty much like people are dropping some of their stuff off at this area and they are putting it in a very safe spot. Let's put some random stuff in here that people, almost like a safety deposit box. Let's shrink down this horn a bit. And then put it on top of this crate just to give this area a little bit more character. Perhaps this area here is for a band that's not currently touring and they want to keep their items safe. So, raise the loot. Put a drum right here. Stick. Now, I know it's hard to tell that stick's sitting there, but that's why we have this. See how far up that stick is? I did not do a very good job at pulling it down. So, right about like that. Now, we also need more random stuff. Because, like most banks, it's just not money that people keep there. So maybe there's some wine aging there. But we also need to add a little bit of chaos to everything. Our bags. Maybe one sitting over here. Maybe someone drops off their prized pottery. Just a bunch of different things that could be happening. Then we lift it up. Maybe there's a small basket at the doorway there. That's for the employees to use when counting funds. Is there like a rolled up rug or something like that? That would... Go ahead and put that there for fun. We're just having fun decorating a treasure room at this point. Now, also what treasure room needs is some sort of open thing that has funds in it. It's gonna have to be strong enough. Let's put there. Let's do some coins. Add some bags. Put a few there. Someone has some chalices in one. Large safe in here. 2 or 3 of them. Okay. Alrighty. Loot needs moved a little bit. And so it's always good to get different angles and such like that whenever you're building the map. That way you're able to kind of see what doesn't make sense, what is too far off, even just balance wise. I know looking from the top, you might not see it too much, but just a particular thing of mine. Try to make it look put together. One second. Alrighty. Apologies. Zoom in here. Got some gems in that one. Shove it back. All right. So what else does a treasure room need? Do we almost create secondary room in here? A wall, but let's make this an iron wall. But iron lattice. There, one there. Redo stonework. Trying to find that stonework. Collision back one. All right. This looks like a good second story. A coin pile there. Oh. I think we are all squared away on that map. Yeah, I think that's about it. Everything else, it would just be extra flavor. There's more than enough shiny things. Let's save this one as bank 2. Yeah. That looks good. Alrighty. Want to thank everyone for joining me while I build these maps. I'm gonna be campaign building for the foreseeable future until the campaign starts. Whenever the campaign starts, it's going to be every other Friday for the time being. I may get a second group for the off Friday. Feel free to come join, ask me any questions about my campaign as I work on it here, and I will try to answer it. And if I don't answer it, then you found a weak link in my campaign. Again, thank you very much and have a great night. I just realized my mic was off during that whole time. I apologize. I realized my mic was off that whole time. Thank you for the follow. We are a bi-weekly D&D group that I am the DM for. I am working on building a map for a one-shot we'll be doing in a couple weeks. And it is going to be a bank heist one-shot. So that is what I am currently working on building. Feel free to ask me any questions you have as far as the campaign, me in general, our group, anything like that. Alrighty, well, I'm going to end it there for tonight. Let me see. What I can do to assist. One second. Let's raid. Let's give it a shot. Again, thanks for joining. I just figured I'd pretty much get rid of the jitters and the newness of everything. So I am going to go and raid Space Hobo. He looks like he is working on painting something. So let's go over and see what he is up to. Thank you guys. Bye.